The hardest working person you know is almost never the richest. And the richest person you know rarely seems to work as hard as you do. This is not unfair. It is not luck. It is the most misunderstood law of money, and it has been hiding in plain sight your entire life. Most people are handed a single equation for wealth. Work hard, get paid. Work harder, get paid a little more. It feels honest. It feels safe. And it quietly guarantees a ceiling you will hit long before you ever notice it is there. Because when you trade your hours for money, you have built a business with exactly one employee. And that employee has to sleep. Most people never realize that the wealthy are not playing the same game with better cards. They are playing a different game entirely. They stopped asking how much they could personally earn and started asking a stranger question. How much could happen without them? That single shift has a name. It is called leverage. More than 2,000 years ago, a Greek mathematician named Archimedes said something that still explains almost every fortune ever made. Give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, and I will move the world. He was describing physics, but without knowing it, he had described money. A lever lets a small force move an enormous weight. It multiplies effort. And here is the strange part. A lever does not care how strong you are. It only cares about where you stand. For most of human history, there were only two real levers. The first was other people's money. Capital. A merchant could borrow 1,000 coins, turn them into 2,000, and keep the difference. The second was other people's time. Labor. The landowner never touched the plow. He owned the field, and 100 workers worked it for him. For centuries, both levers were locked behind permission. You had to be born into the right family, trusted by the bank, granted the title. The poor stayed poor not because they lacked effort, but because they were denied leverage. But here is where it gets interesting. In the last few decades, two entirely new levers appeared, and for the first time in history, they ask no one for permission. The first is code. A single person can write a program once and have it serve millions of people while they sleep. The second is media. A single idea recorded once can reach the whole world and keep reaching it for years after the moment has passed. These are the great equalizers. A blacksmith could only shoe one horse at a time. But a coder, a writer, a creator builds the thing once, and it works forever, for everyone, at almost no additional cost. It is the closest thing to magic that economics allows. And yet most people still refuse to touch it. The real reason is even deeper than fear. Effort is loud and leverage is quiet. Effort can be seen. It earns sympathy and approval and a pat on the back. Leverage looks like doing nothing. It looks like risk. To the anxious mind, it can even look like laziness. So we are pulled, again and again, toward the visible struggle and away from the invisible advantage. This is the deepest truth about money. It is rarely a question of intelligence. It is a question of psychology. The person who builds the asset must be willing to do something today that pays nothing today. They have to trade the comfort of a wage for the uncertainty of an engine. Consider two people with identical skill. One takes a job answering the same questions for a salary all day, every day. The other records those answers once and lets a million strangers find them. A year later, the first person is exactly where they began. The second has built something that no longer needs them to be in the room. Same knowledge, same effort. A completely different life. The difference was never talent. It was leverage. So the real question is not how hard you are willing to work. You already work hard. The question is whether your work vanishes the moment you stop, or whether it keeps working in your absence. Start small, but start. Build the one thing that outlives the hour. Write the words. Write the code. Create the product. Own the share. Stop being the engine and start building one. If this perspective changed the way you think about wealth, take a second to like the video and subscribe to Elite Wealth. We publish content like this every week for people who want more than financial success. They want financial freedom, And share this video with someone who works hard but still feels stuck financially. One idea can change a life. Because the people who quietly win the next decade will not be the ones who worked the most hours. They will be the ones who understood, long before everyone else, a simple and unforgiving truth. You do not get rich by selling your time. You get rich by owning the things that sell it for you. The hardest worker in the room is almost never the freest. And in the end, freedom was always the only number that mattered.